I didn't do the introduction there, so
No, you didn't. But don't worry. I'm sure you can mix it about.
yeah. I'll just edit things. So this is Don't Touch the Cat podcast.
Don't touch the cat.
Don't touch the cat. And this is Alan McCarthy. You can hear on the other mic. We're in the same room.
Yeah.
Which is definitely going to be a rare thing for this. So Alan is multi-trade.
Yes, I'd say so.
Who specialises in tiling.
Tiling, yes, but bathrooms, kitchens, wet rooms. So it's a full, across the spectrum.
Full install.
Yeah, from start to finish.
Okay. How many years experience?
I'm a spark by trade, time served in 1980. Show my age. My dad was in the contracting business, so obviously I was doing building work prior to leaving school. So obviously that's how I became multi-trade, but then I was a time-served electrician, did that for numerous years, and after I finished my apprenticeship, which was an industrial apprenticeship, I went into the domestic market, which I didn't really like, house bashing. I ended up on new builds for a couple of years, got bored of that because it was too not technical. So I went into alarms and CCTV. So something else on the electrical path, but learning something new. Obviously, once I got to a point with that, I thought to myself, and at the same time, I was still doing house renovations, rebuilding our own house. So obviously, full refurb, rewire, replumb.
What year are we in now?
Oh, 80s, late 80s.
Okay.
I was still working. Then I went and worked for various other alarm companies. And then obviously CCTV was coming along quite strongly then, so I concentrated on that. And I was still doing building work back then, and obviously with doing the kitchens and started doing the bathrooms, that's when I took up the tiling, because I thought that looks
easy,
simple enough. Yeah, I wouldn't say easy, but simple enough. You just start off basic. You don't do anything over the top. But you try things in your own property, and that's when you start getting into it and learning more about it. And then obviously, because of being in the building game, I've seen other tilers doing what they're doing on my dad's contracts. And
what did your dad do?
He had a building company, and they used to do some pub refurb stuff, obviously grant work on houses. So a lot of the grant work was just banged out. It was just basic stuff. But then obviously the other side to it was doing the shop fitting and the pub refurbs, which is obviously another different part of construction. I'm just trying to think back.
We got to the late 80s.
Yeah. Where are we? Yeah, late 80s. Got married. 3 years later, got divorced. Young daughter at the time. That basically, once the divorce was over, I basically went on my own and was just doing bathroom installs, kitchen installs, general building work. Still doing the tiling, but obviously, the more you tile.
How did you advertise yourself as a?
It's always been word of mouth, personal recommendation.
No, I mean, what did you advertise yourself as?
Just multi-trade. It was never actually an advert.
So
I've never advertised.
Yeah, so by word of mouth, people know
Yeah.
you can do
Yeah.
virtually anything.
Yeah.
And then you just built it from there.
Yeah. And then people like to, your friends call around the house and go, wow, look at that. I know somebody that might need you. And that's how your name gets spread about.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never taken on any big contracts.
Have you ever done any advertising?
No.
Yeah. So when you speak to tradesmen and tradeswomen, even really big ones who are like running crews of like 20 and 30 other blokes, they don't advertise. It's weird. But then you'll speak to the ones that do advertise and they'll say, yeah, advertising works. It's weird.
Yeah. No, never put an advert out. I haven't even got business cards. It's just always been word of mouth. I mean, I got a phone call this morning from Clifton's saying they've got to go and see a job. And because I've got a couple of slots now free before Christmas because they've been moved over past Christmas, when I spoke to the area manager yesterday on another group, he just said, speak to Raymond in the local branch. And
word of mouth.
And then this morning he's phoning me before I'd even had a chance to phone him and said, listen, I've got to see this job. Can I put your name forward for it?
Yeah.
Because obviously they've seen some of my work. They've seen videos of the jobs I've done.
So you get a lot of work from Clifton's?
I've never actually got a physical job off them. I've taken a client to them.
Yeah. Okay. So you trust them?
Yeah.
Cool.
The cover, the backup that they give you as a company, it's brilliant.
Don't know much about them.
I had an issue with a couple of wall boards. I'd actually miscut one myself. So I said, have you got another wall board? I said, yeah, okay. I was happy to pay for it. I said, don't worry. It'll be all right. We'll cover it.
Yeah. So you get, is that your local Clifton's? They know you. So the manager there looks after you.
Yeah, but all the staff do.
Yeah, because they know you.
Yeah.
So it's a big company, Clifton's. I think they're like 50 on. A big enough company.
Oh, yeah. And they're opening new stores.
But it's always the local store. They could just be one shop or a massive company. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's the people who work in that local store that's important.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what
Alex,
working practices
the
or
guy
come
that
down.
was managing that, is now the area manager. So all the stores, he works the same as how he worked that store.
Yeah.
So obviously anybody local to, say, a Telford outlet, he's covering that as the area manager, and he's training those staff up to be the same as like the branch I use in Birkenhead. Yeah. It
doesn't matter how big the company is. It's always how good the people are.
Yeah.
And you can have whatever processes you want in place, and it's great to have processes in place, but it's always comes down to the people at the front.
Yeah. So anyway, with these wall panels, I fitted the new wall panel, put it in. I thought, that's not right. The lip was different. Exactly the same board, same colour, everything. And when I went back to them and I said, there's a problem with the lip, when I actually went into the warehouse and checked, they'd had a new delivery come in, and they'd changed the dimension of the lip by 0.5 mm. Well, that 0.5 mm makes all the difference when you're joining up 2 sheets of 8x4 wall boards, because it's just the way they've done the actual, what do you call it, form for the groove.
Yeah.
So they just said, not a problem, come in, get 2 more boards, free of charge.
Fair enough.
Anything. If you've got a problem, you just phone them up and go, what's the matter with this? Or
you're not the only Tyler who's sung their praises, to be honest. It's not really someone who I would generally, from my history, think of. Yeah. I'll just think, oh yeah, bathroom supplier. But actually, Tyler's really like them.
Yeah.
All over the place.
You see, before Clifton's, there were a couple of independents round by us. one which I was recommended by them to do installs, and that was MB's, and they were still writing everything out on paper. No computers, no nothing. Everything was written out by hand. You'd sit down with the client in front of the sales guy. He'd write everything out. What do you fancy? You'd take them around the showroom. That'll go with that. That'll go with that. What sort of tiles? Right, there's your dimension for your room. I'll work what the room looks like as a photograph finish in my brain backwards. So I can then work out where everything's going. I can see it as a finished product, whereas the customer can't.
Yeah.
A lot of customers can't. And then I'll work the tile size in so it matches everything up.
So you're literally doing everything.
I do everything from the finish backwards and work backwards to the start.
So you haven't got you never have to worry about an electrician or a plumber leaving it right, or like miscommunication or anything like that, because it's all you.
It's all me, and it's all down to me.
Oh.
So it's down to, I'll say, that's 700 bath. If you went 800, you'd get a bit more space for your arms, and it would work better for the tile size.
Yeah. But the plumber would just fit it because that's what was there.
Yeah.
And then he'd leave the problem to the next person.
Yeah.
And he's done his job, to be fair. He's done what you've told him.
But when I was doing the installs for the likes of MB's, I'd already have sorted all that at source prior to going on the job.
Yeah.
So even if I had to have employed a plumber, at least that problem would have been alleviated.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, some people, I take pride in what I do. I like to see a happy customer.
Yeah.
More than happy customer works better when they're over the moon and you go, can't believe it.
So people listening to this. So just so people, I hope people listen to this. So just so people know, the way I know Alan is not through any of that. Well, that's just the tiling bit of it.
Yeah.
Because it's your tiling. It fucking awesome tiling.
Well,
so to know that you were never trained.
Oh no,
weird.
No training whatsoever. Basically,
it's amazing, really.
To me, it's because of being in the building game. It's common sense. How to cut things, what tools are for used for what. You know, you don't use a hacksaw.
I don't think it's that easy.
Well, it is to me. It's just it just works out that way.
I was going to say you're modest then, but obviously not. But yeah, it's amazing, really, that you're actually an electrician.
Yeah, well,
it's crazy
because I was an industrial electrician. Everything was on show.
Yeah.
So everything had to be millimetre perfect anyway.
Yeah.
Because it was all big industrial conduits, tray work, trunkings.
Do you ever get pissed off, like, because obviously you're an electrician, now you have to tidy up after yourself, now you do all the other things as well?
No, because we were taught to tidy up then, back in the day.
Yeah. Fucking bollock yourself and
yeah.
Tidy up.
No, you see, I just don't understand sparks. I mean, I've been to help people out.
Is that true?
Oh yeah, half of them.
I know.
Half of them
I know
just go. It's not my job.
It's weird, isn't it? It's weird.
All I do is take an empty cardboard box off the sockets and just stick it underneath where you're working.
I bet some of them do. I'm going to speak to some electricians because I bet there's some really good professional ones that clean up after themselves.
Yeah, but we were taught to clean up because a site is a site.
Well, yeah, it's good practice, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same with anything.
A tiler, you don't just leave all the offcuts, do you?
No.
On the floor in the bathroom. So why would a spark leave all the offcuts of cable on the floor?
It's interesting.
In somebody's house.
Why would he? Like,
just
not
laziness.
Yeah. Other than laziness, is there like could they potentially think that doesn't need to be done because it's going to have to be done again anyway? So
no, it all
they're
depends.
Just being arrogant.
I think certain jobs you've got, or you always used to have a labourer cleaning up, constantly cleaning up. It all depends on how the site is structured and who's in charge and what they require from different people. I don't know. Yeah. It's just. I mean, to me, you just tidy as you go.
Yeah,
you always have bags with you. You always got a dustpan and brush. I've got 3 Henrys. and then I've got a wet vac.
I saw something the other day where I don't think they were Henrys, but they were like massive Hoovers, 3 big fucking industrial things.
Yeah.
And he joined them all together into one. Did you see it on I think it was on the group somewhere, and he joined all 3 hoses into one. Who got like a super sucker on the other end.
No, I didn't see that one.
Right, so where did we get to then? We didn't even get to the 90s, mate.
No, I know.
We're in the 90s now.
I know. Yeah, basically that's when I went, right, I'm just going on my own. And basically that's all I've done. And in the meantime, when I haven't had my own work on, a friend of mine who does loft conversions, I would always go in and do all the roof work, because the dormer, we'd get the dormer shell up in a day and watertight in a day. So my job was purely the roof, putting all the roof structure in. And you've got guys around you, about 5 of us, get one up in a day and get it watertight for the evening. So it could be a 1-day job, or if the hip need it extended on to the get new gable, that'd be a 2-day job for me. So I'd jump on that. So I'd be doing joinery. So being multi-trade, you've got different outlets, so you're not always just purely on your knees tiling floors.
Yeah,
you know,
it's hard to do multi-trade. If you were, you've done it purely naturally from what you've just explained. But if I was 18 and decided that I want to be multi-trade now, I would have to figure out which qualifications I need to go and get. These days, I would imagine. So you would have. Which one would you do? As like
you don't, do you? I don't think there's one out there, unless you speak to the colleges, which they might do an all-round course.
I know there's some courses for multi-trade. I know I'll probably get that some. I forgot his name, but I'll probably get him on to talk about it. But what I'm talking about, like, which qualification do you do first? I do the one that paid the most.
Well, it's plumbing, electrical, but you see, with plumbing and electrical, you still got to lift boards, so you've got to do joinery work.
Yeah.
One trade
tends
to lead to another trade.
I wonder how many multi-trades there are out there, because a lot of the time, I know when we had this house renovated, the first thought is, you need to get a builder for that bit, and then you need to get an electrician for that bit, and then they'll say, I can't do that yet because you need to get a plasterer or whatever.
But you see, for me, being a multi-trade, I could actually project manage that job, because I know what's required of each trade and when they should be coming in. Which, I've been offered a job like that, but then it takes me away from my other work, because I've got offered one for October, but it would be carrying on over 18 months, which means all my other work then gets pushed to one side.
Yeah.
Which, yes, you get paid weekly or monthly off it, but what happens 18 months down the line? You've lost all your recommendations, all your ongoing work.
Yeah. So
basically, you might have earned good money for 18 months, and then you've got a 6-month slack period. So,
have you ever worked abroad?
Yes.
What were you doing?
Working with a roofing artisan in France.
Oh.
So, done all that sort of proper French tiling and roofing.
Wow.
So, I was going out there before COVID. I was going probably about 4 times a year.
Oh, recently?
8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks at a time, because mum and dad live out there.
Okay.
So obviously I'd go and live at their house. The roofing guy lived down the road.
Is he French?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. No, he's a proper French artisan. Tiling art, because their tiling's totally different to ours. Their roof structures are totally different.
Yeah.
A lot of their roofs are made up of proper tree with still bark on the timber.
Really?
Yeah. all the old cottages and that, yeah. So that's when you see uneven roofs, and you've got to start propping them because they're obviously the timber's getting aged. And then they do a totally different roof structure on the bottom section of the roofs because they're quite a steep roof. And then they flare it out at the bottom for like 1.5 meters. So it starts as quite a peak, and then like that, it's just the style.
Oh.
And then obviously you get into doing all the galvanised.
So that's a regular thing for you?
It was.
Until
before till COVID, yeah. And obviously, and Brexit.
Oh yeah, you've got another problem now, haven't you?
Yeah. So I can't. It just basically it doesn't warrant the time because I can only spend a maximum of 6 months in a year over there now.
I would imagine there's more paperwork to sort out as well.
You're governed now by your passport. Yeah. And if you go for 3 months, you then can't go for another 3 months. And then you go for 3 months, then you can't go for another 3 months. So,
and you can only do that twice. So you can only,
do 6 months rolling like that. Or you could go for 4 weeks, and then not for 4 weeks, and 4 weeks. But anyway, that's the last couple of years. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. That side of things has knackered me up.
Yeah.
As a regular way of getting out to see my mum and dad.
Yeah.
And obviously,
so now you've got to
employing, obviously getting paid to be out there.
Am I just going for a holiday now?
Well, it's
just
never,
so I can see him.
Yeah, but it's never a holiday for me. It's a busman's holiday because there's always a job list.
Yeah, I saw the pictures on. It's a farm, innit?
Yeah.
So what did you do? You did a tractor up.
Fully rebuilt a tractor. Yeah.
What? Just because obviously people can't see it, but what year was it? 50s tractor.
Oh, yeah.
Big old thing.
But earlier than that, it was a Zetor 3511, and they run forever. So that got, because my dad's not, my dad, even though he was in construction, he's not mechanically minded. Whereas I used to rebuild engines because we used to do a lot of water skiing. So my mate had a jet boat. So we'd be rebuilding a 1600 cross-flow engine. Then he moved on to a Rover 3.5 V8, stripped that down, rebuilt a few of those, just so that we could get back on the water skiing.
What water?
Water skiing.
Where though?
On the Wirral.
On the sea?
Yeah.
Cool.
We'd be, when the tides were right in the summer, we'd be out at 4 a.m, making a lot of noise with a Rover 3.5 V8 straight through exhausts. So yeah, people on the on Mel's front weren't very pleased with us, but hey, we were enjoying ourselves back then.
Right, we still didn't get past the 90s, mate. We had the
90s
diverted to France.
That's it. That's yeah.
So that was basically you were
all that from the 90s. I've just worked for myself. And obviously in between I've worked for other people. It's just, with being multi-trade, it's just handy that you can drop onto something if somebody says, can you do this for us?
Yeah.
I'm short-staffed, or the lads have broke his leg, or what have you, can you come in and work for us for a month? I'll check time-wise whether I can slot it in or move a client for a couple of weeks if it runs over to another job.
Do you try and stay local as well? Because I guess you can pick and choose.
Yeah.
And you're always busy.
Yeah.
Even now.
It's
everyone who because I was assuming things are dropping off.
It's been a bit quiet, but yet again, that suited me because obviously I've had to go over to France, sort out my mum because obviously my dad passed away in January.
Yeah.
So there's that. Then I've got work at home because Debbie's got the house next door. So
your missus.
Yeah. So the back patio wanted doing. So I'm on that as a job at the moment.
So everybody gives you jobs, even when you've got no work.
Yeah. All freebies. But I can take my time. I can do what. I'm not one for chasing the money.
Yeah.
I don't chase the money. I'd sooner get a happy customer, followed by a break, followed by a happy customer. So I'm not trying to push.
Could you keep yourself busy? I suppose is the question. Are you doing that on purpose? 'Cause
yes.
I ask this question a lot, obviously, because it kind of relates to what I do as well. That if trade's slowing down or looking like it's going to slow down, it's good to know. But everybody who I ask says, no, we're busy. Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And we're busy till next year, June or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
you see, I haven't booked anything in because I just wanted that break for myself.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, now I'm 58 and been in the trades, all trades, since I was 16. And prior to that, I was working for my dad anyway, at weekends, what have you. Your body physically tells you that you need to slow down a bit.
Yeah.
And you can't lift. I can't lift what I used to be able to lift 20 years ago.
Mm.
So you find a different way of doing things.
Have you got Grabbos?
Yeah, I've got two.
They freak me out even though they're amazing.
Oh.
Because people start lifting big fucking things with them. I'm like, just because you've got a Grabbo doesn't mean you're not going to break your back.
Yeah.
So just need to be careful. They're amazing. I like unbelievably good things, but it freaks me out when I see some videos of people picking up big things at awkward angles, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. I mean,
watch yourself.
They're there as an aid.
Yeah.
The physical weight of the item's still there. So if you can't lift it on your own, you just get two Grabbos and one at either end.
Yeah.
And pick it up like that.
Yeah.
But it does make for easier lifting with Grabbos.
Oh yeah, they're amazing.
Rather than grabbing the sides of a tile or a sheet of glass or
something that you probably couldn't pick up before,
or even
a stone or whatever.
Yeah. Or even a sheet of 8x4 ply.
Yeah. They'll pick anything up.
You can just stick that on, and it's physically easier to carry than it is with your arms stretched out.
Amazing things.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm one for investing in tools to make your job easier.
Of course.
It means that you're taking the strain off your body.
Was there a resistance to them? I don't think there ever was there? Because, we've talked before, not on this thing, but when new things come out, how resistant... the resistance that... But I don't think there ever was with them, was there? Because it was just massive.
No, I think it's just a progression from the non-battery powered suction systems. Yeah. Because the suction systems have been used for God knows how many years in the glass industry anyway.
Yeah.
And obviously, even when you look at how glass is dropped onto an airbed, full sheets of glass, which you think it's just going to shatter, but they just flip it and it just drops. And because it's sitting on a couple of mil of air being constantly pumped out on a huge bed, it doesn't smash. And you think, how's that happen? Mm-hmm. How've they made that work? But the suction system, I think it's just a progression. It's like everything. Everything was corded, wasn't it, years ago? Before that, it was all for joiners. It was a brace.
It wasn't such a big step. It wasn't something that was completely different. It was just an innovation of something that just already exists.
A motorised unit, isn't it?
So it wasn't too
like
scary.
Cordless drills, and it's just a progression. I mean, you probably find years ago that somebody did have in a workshop system scenario, they will have had something like the Grabbo, but it would have been corded. So
they've always existed on factories, things like that have corded up to
well, you think
air.
Air or
they've always been on factories.
Electric. I mean, when you look at how packaging machines work and you watch what they do and you think, wow, who thought of that idea?
The robot arms that you see on the factories that pick anything up, like it weighs nothing. I've seen a version of that on site. Have you seen them? It's like a little crane on wheels,
Oh, yes.
and it's got like a grabber on the end of it.
Yeah.
That's
Well, it's like the
the next step in it,
computer designed,
especially for these big tiles.
cement built houses, isn't it? The automated machine
I-
that actually lays it
Yeah,
like
I've
a
seen it.
3D.
Prints it.
But yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. I mean, there's certain things for certain jobs, isn't there? You know, I mean, but machinery, whatever you feel you need for a job, there's no point struggling. Invest, because that investment will pay off.
Yeah, yeah. What? So if somebody was new, like a young Tyler, we'll say Tyler because that's what I
Excuse
thought
me.
you were.
Yeah.
What should they buy? Should they buy a Grabo? Is that essential?
No. Initially,
Looks essential to me because I'm like picking stuff up.
Yeah, but if you're only doing
Small.
metros, you're not going to use
learning.
Yeah, and that is basically how people get started, isn't it? They go, "Oh, I can do next door neighbour's splashback around the kitchen. Oh,
Yeah.
I can do that little floor for you." It's not until you progress to your larger format tiles that you start needing things like grabos or suction cups, and then when you start going outside, you're looking at 20mm slabs at 600 by 600. You don't actually need them for that, but it makes your job easier.
What if somebody wanted to get into large format first? Is that like not possible or just not advised because you need to know the fundamentals of being a tiler? So
I don't know if
do the next door neighbour's kitchen.
Yeah, but for example,
whatever.
say for example, all I did was large format, and I took on an apprentice. That's what the apprentice would learn.
Yeah, so I'm
they,
sure there is, but there needs to be and I know there is because I'm going to speak to somebody who does it.
Yeah.
The fundamentals. So my very far background is engineering, which I don't do anymore. But knowing we did a thing called basic engineering training, and a lot of the time was spent lads saying, "Why the fuck are we doing this? Why are we making a toolbox by hand?
Yeah.
Or why are we learning how to do make a screwdriver
a
blacksmith?"
Yeah, but
that's the answer.
That was us at school.
You know the fundamentals of it. Then you're never going to do it again, of course you're not. Yeah. Who's going to make a screwdriver by hand? No one.
Well, we did all that.
Teaching you the
late 70s in engineering workshop theory and practice.
Yeah,
and it was.
Does that exist now?
I assume it does. But you see, it all depends. Health and safety issues with people using lathes, and stuff like that. It'd be a one-to-one training now, I'd imagine. Whereas there'd be a class of
it's not
20 of us.
There'd just be
one teacher.
You wouldn't touch the lathe,
assistant.
So they're just like gourds everywhere.
Yeah,
which is right.
Yeah, but you still got to put your piece of metal in the lathe.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah. So you've got to remove all the guards.
I do know, actually. It is still possible to do, but there's guards everywhere. So I've done both. So
yeah,
we started on, 20 or 25 years ago. And we're working on a lathe that's then 60 years old. So it'd be 85. And it's probably still there now being used. So you're over it.
Yeah.
And the only real thing you've got for a touch is your fingers.
Yeah.
Which is fucking dangerous. But actually, if you want to know if you're getting a good finish or what, you're going to use your fingers. When they wouldn't do that now, you wouldn't be hunched over it.
No,
there'd be guards.
Your guards,
and it wouldn't work if the guard wasn't closed and all the rest of it. So, yeah.
Do you know why every lathe has a filament light above it?
No.
Stroboscopic effect. Stroboscopic effect comes from fluorescent tubes. So, all workshops in the time used to be installed with fluorescent lighting.
Yeah.
That fluorescent lighting flickers at 50 hertz a second. So, if you're running a machine at set speed, at a particular speed, that actual machine looks static. So that's when they introduced your lighting systems had to be done in 3-phase, which is 415 volts. So every third light would be on a different phase. So you'd have red, yellow, blue, three lights in a row, then red, yellow, blue, and that would compensate for the 50 hertz on flickering on that one, and it'd be flickering 50 hertz on the other one at a different time because of the sine wave being set apart. Cool. But the direct filament light that used to be over your lathes is there to compensate, and you should always use that just in case.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I've nearly killed myself a few times on a lathe.
Same with drills.
Genuinely.
Yeah, but same with milling machines and drills. Any pillar drills, they can look static.
Yeah, I've nearly been in there a few times.
Yeah,
stupid, really. But I was 16. What do you expect?
Yeah,
You're not getting listen, am I?
No.
I stopped doing that when I was 24. So yeah, where did we get to? Modern day. What you did? You're actually. It's worth mentioning where you're going after this.
Because of the way tiling's going, and obviously age, even though I say my age and is going to affect it, I'm looking at going into larger and larger format tiles. A lot of mitering work, stuff like that. Because of the way the market is for housing now, the customer sort of denotes the fact that they want a larger format tile. So
so large format tile means a different thing every 6 months.
Yeah,
because not so long ago, 60 by 120 was large format.
Is it? Yeah, I wouldn't class that as large format.
So where are you starting large format at? 1 meter by
1.2 by 1.2s.
Yeah, okay.
Going upwards.
Yeah.
So obviously, when it comes to doing stuff like that, some of it's a 2-man lift. So obviously, you invest in grabos, suction cups. Then you invest in your rails, your cutting equipment. I mean, don't get me wrong. I haven't bought. I think I've bought one item brand new, which was my is it Monty Flashline?
Yeah.
Which is
the rail with
your rails, just like a joiner invests in, say, Festool and tracks for cutting ply, stuff like that, because you get a better finish. So I've invested in those as a brand new. Then I've invested in the Ruby wet track saw, which was second hand. That's been used on one job.
What's it called?
It's
TC. 125.
Something like that.
Yeah. So about maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
When we went to the tile show in Italy. It was maybe even before then. Ruby were showing that off, and I was like, "Right, that's the future." And I was trying to convince my boss at the time we need to stock these, and it's literally just now, for me anyway. I'm sure people have been using them since then.
Yeah.
But just now, I've started seeing a lot of posts of people saying, "Are these any good?" I'm like, "Fucking hell! How long's it took that get some traction?"
Yeah.
But it's there, and it's always looked like a good tool. Always fun.
Yeah, but the thing is, to me, you can pack it away, whereas you're getting these massive table wet saws now, and you've got to lug them round. And if you've got nowhere, you've got to move it from one site to the next site, or then you've got to have storage, because you can't have everything in your van.
Yeah.
Or vehicle, whatever.
So do you want to specialise in
the larger format?
Do you think there's enough work? There is. I know there
looking
is.
At
it increases all the time.
Looking at my customer base and who people recommend me to, they're denoting on their property that they want this style tile or this size tile.
Yeah.
Because you get a different effect altogether. So I mean, I want to be going up to like your 3 meters. 3 meter be 1.2. But like I said, I've invested in that. I bought it second hand. Only been used on one job, so it's immaculate. But instead of whatever it should be, like 500 quid, I paid 200 quid.
You can get an apprentice. It'd be a shame if you didn't.
No, I've got a guy that wants to learn tiling.
Yeah.
He's done his level 2 in plumbing. He works full time on Stena line.
Oh yeah.
The shipping that goes across to Belfast.
I just
Dublin.
thought I'd stair left immediately in my mind.
No.
Boats.
Stena line. Yeah. Not Stana stairlifts. And on his days off, all he wants to do is come in with me and learn.
Good.
So obviously, he's like me, how I used to be years ago. You just want knowledge, so you're happy to do it because he's got a full-time job. He's happy to come in, and he wants to come in. He actually looks forward to leaving work so he can come and tile for the day because he's learning his knowledge.
It is the kind of job though that's different all the time.
Yeah.
The problem with it being different all the time is you run into problems all the time, like random shit. So
yeah, but because I'm multi-trade,
be a certain type of person to be able to not flip your fucking lid every time something goes wrong.
Oh no, I'm too laid back for that.
Yeah, I think
I've
tiling
seen a
is
friend
more
of mine.
difficult than people think.
A friend of mine, he installs electric gate CCTV. Oh, if he gets something wrong, he punishes himself as in, and you can see him. You can see the blood boiling, coming up, and he becomes so angry with himself. And you speak to him, and then he's angry with you, and you think, I've got nothing to do with your problem. I'm just asking how your day's gone. Yeah. You know, whereas doing the bathrooms, you come across problems every day.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you're stripping out and ripping the thing to bits.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, there's another problem. There's another problem. Yeah. How do we get over that? And because I'm multi-trade, you can see it straight away. And you don't have to stop. You just go right to the client. Here's a problem I haven't priced for. Do you want me to do it as part of the bathroom install, or do you need to get somebody else in to do that?
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they just go, crack on. You give them a price for that extra works, so they know. You don't just go, oh, I'll carry on, and then give them a massive bill at the end of it. They know there's going to be an incurred cost. So you discuss that before you do it.
Yeah, generally speaking, I've asked you about this before. So a lot of your jobs, because it's a lot of word of mouth and trust involved. And you don't, I know you don't, because you've told me you don't really have issues with if something crops up, then you'll have an issue with the invoice later on. Because I know some people do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're lucky or what, but...
No, I've been stung a couple of times, but that's because you haven't got the handle on the person, or you've let it run too far without taking a stage payment, and then all of a sudden you find out what issues they've got, as in not being able to control their finances, and then basically you stand the brunt of it.
Yeah.
But that's very few and far between for me.
Yeah. So we went off on one then. So you were just about to say where you were going and why.
Oh, yeah. I'd just sooner pick and choose my jobs. I mean, obviously I'll still fit small jobs in. I don't particularly want to be fitting bathrooms. I'd sooner do
large format,
top of the range bathrooms, like the one I did back end of last year, before Christmas, wasn't it?
The one with the steam room and
the one with the jacuzzi bath.
You can see that there's videos of that online.
Yeah.
So is it on Tyler's Community?
Yes, it will
So
be.
it's on
It'll be
Tyler's
under
Community.
under my name.
It's on my Perflex TikTok.
Yeah,
If you want to look for Perflex UK on TikTok.
good idea.
It's on... what else are you on? You don't really do anything.
I don't do much social media.
Yeah, go to Tyler's Community and look for Alan's name,
Yeah.
and you'll probably find it.
Yeah, it'll be in my history.
It's really nice.
But he got his house revalued. I think he'd spent 1.1 buying it, million. He spent 500,000 on it with the massive extensions, walls out, everything. And it got valued at 2.7.
He made a mill.
Yeah,
Wow.
over 18 months.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
plus obviously the house price has gone up, but the guy who came to survey it, he said that bathroom alone is 100 grand.
It looks it though.
Well, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And it's actually Helen, the owner's wife. It's her favourite room in the house.
Yeah.
And that's their ensuite.
Oh, that wasn't even the main bathroom.
Well, the main bathroom's small in comparison.
Yeah, I was going to say
It's basic.
It's ridiculous.
This was just another world apart for.
Yeah.
But basically, her husband and the two kids now, she's just had another baby, they live up in that area.
Where is it?
No, they live up in the area of the bedroom.
Oh.
Because there's another partial room off it, and then there's obviously the bathroom, ensuite bathroom with steam room.
Any house is like that, isn't it? If you any house at any value, any size, if it's got a nice kitchen and a nice bathroom in it,
you're going to spend your time in.
People, it happened to us when we were looking for. We ended up buying something that needed doing up, but we were looking at houses, and if the kitchen and the bathroom look like a new build, it's hard to convince your missus that we shouldn't be bidding for that house.
Yeah.
And we did it a couple of times. And luckily, I think we got outbid. One of them went to, what do they call it when it's like a closed?
Oh, closed up.
Closed envelope.
Oh, yeah.
So we thought
basically
we offered the asking
bids.
price. Yeah, so we offered the asking price. And my missus really wanted this brand new kitchen, brand new bathroom, really nice. Overpriced, obviously.
Yeah.
But you're paying because it's done. It's like a show home. But yeah, so we thought we were buying that because we were offered the asking price. We were like, brilliant, we bought an house. But then they were like, no, it goes to closed envelope bidding now. So you need to. Like,
you need to up your bid.
Yeah, and you might. I was like, no, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, it was already overpriced, not overpaying again, and it ended up going for stupid money.
Yeah.
But then you can buy the same house without a new kitchen and without a new bathroom. Nobody even wants it.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, I'm sure people do, but it's not as popular.
Well, it tends to be all the builders that have made the money. They tend to snap up some houses.
You don't
like
have
that.
to do much
No.
for make it worth. You can make 10 grand, 20 grand quick if
Yeah.
you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Even now, probably even more so now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The price of houses now, and they just sell still like mad.
Well, where I am on the Wirral, you can't. Half the houses before they even get the for sale sign up because they're advertised online straight away. Before the post's actually gone in the ground outside with the for sale sign,
It's gone.
It's gone. So they put the sign up, and the following day they come along and put the sale agreed on it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know where people are getting their money from.
I think a lot of that's going to stop, to be honest.
Soon.
Well, I think it's already slowing down now.
I don't know.
On the housing side, yeah.
I don't know. People keep saying, "Oh, there's going to be a housing market crash," but I'm not convinced. I think they've said it before, but then they say, "Oh yeah, London prices reduced," but London prices are vast, fucking
yeah, they're way overpriced.
ridiculous anyway. So I don't think the rest
But I
of the
look at
country
some of the
necessarily follows London.
properties around us, and I think that's overpriced for what it is and the work that then needs doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Someone will buy it then. It's not.
Oh, yeah. Because they can't get hold of anything, and they're getting desperate to buy a property, to get on the property ladder.
I don't think it'll be the mortgage situation, won't it, that slows everything down.
That's going to stop it.
Yeah. Which is a bastard for everyone, isn't it? I've got that problem coming up soon.
What, interest rates? Yeah.
We had a deal that runs out middle of next year. So it's like, what do you do? Do you do something now? Or do you wait and hope? Well, it's not getting any better, is it?
No.
So it's like, probably do something now.
Yeah.
Or as soon as we can. So, you're going to Schluter this afternoon.
I am.
For
a training day tomorrow.
Yeah.
On whatever they train me in.
Do you know what they do? Have you been before?
No, never been before.
It's an amazing place to go to.
I wanted to.
Proper
if there's
good
training
company.
courses going like that, obviously, because it was put on Tyler's Community a few months back, I wasn't sure what I was doing in this period of time because obviously I had to make sure I was locked in with my
You
mum.
should mention who's taking you actually, because it's good of them.
Well, yeah, I will. So obviously I was struggling time-wise for an exact date for when I could get over to France, and so obviously I left it. I thought there'll be another training course comes up, and as it turns out, Luke Stratford at PTT, Pro Tyler Tools, he just put a post up. I think it was on Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, and just said we've had somebody drop out of the course. Who wants to go? So straight away I was bang, I'll have it, because obviously I came back from France last Wednesday. Come the Sunday, brilliant. So it worked out perfectly for me.
It's really good. Yeah, for what you're wanting to do as well.
Yeah, for the likes of your wet rooms and your big bathrooms.
Yeah, really good.
It's perfect for all your prep work.
Yeah, I'd like to get them on actually. Somebody from there to explain to us exactly what, because I've seen it all. I've never done the course. I've been shown around and stuff, and
right.
The setup there is really. They're a good company.
Yeah,
really good company.
I mean, from the last time people went to the course, what they've said about it is good reviews on the community.
Yeah, but even this, right? So even this, and I'm sure they won't even mind me saying this. It's amazing what they're doing, what they're offering to people through one of their customers, Pro Tyler Tools.
Yeah,
it's superb.
Yeah,
but they are training people, so that their motive is train people up, give knowledge,
and use their product.
Yeah, so ultimately,
yeah,
and you can't begrudge them. So when people say,
but that's what.
Oh, someone's on the take. Of course, they're fucking on the take. They're a company. They're
money. A company. They're on the take. All we're doing is
we're
offering, getting a cut of the offer of training for free.
It's a give and take thing. They're offering an amazing service and a bit of training.
Yeah.
Shit up products.
Yeah. And a backup.
Hopefully,
and a full backup system.
Yeah, and they're going to get some loyal customers.
Yeah.
Who know that they can trust the product.
I mean, once you've been on a course like that, and you like their product, as a tradesman,
you'll stick with the brand.
You will stick with that brand,
yeah.
And if you know you're going to get it through one of your other suppliers who are decent, or even go direct, and you know you've got a rep that you can call on and just go, listen, I've got this problem, got that. Do you have something I can use to get round this situation? And they give you an answer. That's all the tradesman wants, because it makes their job easier, doesn't it? And if you can buy everything all in one place, you're only passing that cost on direct to the client. If the client's happy to pay that cost, they're getting a better job anyway.
Yeah.
Rather than plasterboards or...
Okay, I'll bring up the fucking shit that Sam's been having to deal with people complaining that someone's on the take or whatever.
Oh, what's that about?
So the way Sam does it, I think, is really fucking good. Because in he's allowing certain brands to promote.
Yeah.
But what he's saying to them is,
yeah, you've got to give
what do you offer the group?
The group, yeah.
And then he'll say to the group, who do you like? And they'll say Ultra or whoever they like. So he's saying to the brands, it's you can promo, because they want to promote to traders. That's what they want to do. But what do you offer in return? If it was B&Q or Screwfix or Top, whoever, they would say, you want a promo in store, that's the equivalent to what Sam's doing.
Yeah.
How much are you going to give us? And that really is on the take then. So some people are accusing Sam of not being honest, that you'll always get this. Everyone assumes everyone's on the take. But So they're accusing him of not being honest about his intentions. And he's having to say, like, no, that's not what I'm doing.
I mean, the whole palaver yesterday when he put up the tile community with Ultra.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Next thing is, it's like a barrage of, well, why isn't this company on it? Why isn't that? And he's in discussion with all these different companies.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to sort out deals for
yeah, you can't do them all. I understand what he's doing. People need to wait a few months. Yeah. Wait a few months until all the brands have had their opportunity.
I mean, maybe he shouldn't have gone straight in with just the one. Maybe he should have waited till he got a few of them.
No, I don't see why not. It's good to do one at a time because it highlights one at a time.
Yeah.
And it showcases one at a time. If you just blasted every single brand that you like on the header, that's just like saying, I don't know, you might as well sell space then, and just say to them all, we'll put your name on the header for £100 or whatever. But that's not what he's doing. No. He's saying to each brand, what do you offer the group, as in training, deals, freebies, whatever it is,
support.
Yeah, and then what he's not only doing that, he's then asking the group before he makes a decision, who's your favourite adhesive supplier, who would you like to hear from the most? And it just so happens that Ultra were the most popular, and they're also offering all this extra training or whatever. And then to accuse Sam of, I've kept...
I didn't see anything accusing him for...
Yeah, I did. Yeah, they accused him.
On that actual post?
Yeah, basically saying something's not right about this. Why don't you tell us how much is in it for you? There's literally nothing in it for him. But to accuse him of going with Ultra, so I've been looking at social media for 8 years. It was my job for 5 years to keep an eye on it. So I know all you lot. I know all your lot's names for years before I ever met any of you. So I know, and I always assumed Sam, because obviously Sam's always been, he's been an admin of big groups up through all these years.
Right.
And he runs Tyler's community now. So I've known Sam's name for years. I don't know him particularly well now, but I know him now.
Mm.
And I always assumed that he worked with Palace, because he's just a big fan of Palace. And
he's openly admitted he's always used Palace.
Yeah. So I always assumed he was in with them. From an outsider, assuming Palace must sponsor him or something, but they fucking don't.
Yeah.
They don't. Now I've spoken to him, as a supplier myself, he will literally refuse. He refuses money. Do you know what I mean? He refuses...
an incentive.
Yeah. His incentive is, what do you do for the group?
Yeah. And that's what it's about, not what he gets out of it.
He would be within his rights, in my opinion, knowing how much work you have to do, just to fucking... I've got my group. It's not... You don't just open a group and then run it. You get, I don't know, 50, 100 questions a day. And Sam gets more because he puts it out there to support people. So he must be spending...
I don't know how he gets any work done.
A shitload of time on it, like a shitload of time.
Yeah.
And I know he meets with the TTA and he represents the tilers at the TTA, so he's spending a lot of time on it. So even if he was taking money or earning money from it, so what? Because he's spending a lot of time on it.
Free time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, don't forget the hours he probably loses in the day. That's why he's called half a day coffee.
Mate. So just for me personally, right, I don't know him as well as you lot, but I messaged Sam enough to understand if there's 10 more people like me and there's more than 10 of me, he's fucked.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of messages, but I do nowhere near what he gets, can't do, surely.
Mm.
So for people to accuse him of saying he's not being honest about X, Y, and Z, when he is, but even if, and I'm sure if he ever made any money, he'd come out and say, listen, I spent that much time on this thing, I'm going to try and make some money so it can actually fucking employ me.
Yeah.
Because I'm working on it to help. So I wouldn't begrudge him to do that. And if that was his job to run...
Well, how many more admins are there on that group? I've never even looked, to be honest.
There's a few others. I know Adrian's one, and he's a good lad.
Adrian Clements.
Yeah, is that his surname?
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, I wouldn't begrudge him if he was like, look, this is this community has developed into an actual fucking union, or that's probably a bad thing to say, but it's now a business that needs, I don't know, a business manager to run it and help all these people with all the complaints, because it's not just a Facebook group anymore. It actually is now a network of people helping each other.
Yeah.
And if it needs someone to do all the admin behind that, and it may, I don't know, it may. I'll have to speak to Sam about it on the, like, record the conversation, so we're just guessing really. But if it turns into more than just a Facebook group, which I already think it is, then it needs a management behind it, and then you have to employ people. It's not just something that happens, and
because
just because you're a member, you can complain that somebody might be spending all the time on it and then wanting to pay the fucking bills because of all the time they've spent on it, and they haven't got time to do anything else.
Yeah,
I wouldn't begrudge anybody that.
I mean, I reckon he probably gets at least 50 messages minimum, probably a day, and then you end up in chat with people, don't you? Like we do when we're chatting.
Yeah, exactly. And it takes you
time. The
time.
amount of time that's taken up.
Yeah.
And you can't just go, I think I'll switch off from that.
To be fair to him, he doesn't want to. He enjoys doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise he wouldn't. But
realistically, it's affecting how much work he actually gets done. I mean, fortunately for him, he's got other lads that work with him as well.
Yeah, but that's...
I mean, I couldn't do something like that as a one-man band. You couldn't run a group like that and do your job.
Well, it looks like he does. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It must be taking a lot of his time up. And that's all I'm saying when people turn around and say, what's in it for you? What's in it for him is he enjoys doing it.
Yeah.
And if it turns into X number of hours a week job, which I'm sure it already is, then I wouldn't begrudge anybody.
No. But I mean, realistically, he's not, is he? As such, he's not on the take for anything.
It's not even. It's a stupid thing to say, on the take, because it's someone spending a lot of time doing something. So I
think all of this stems from it. There's only probably a couple of people that probably think like that on the group, but look what happened to the other tile group. Now, basically,
I don't know.
People end up power hungry as soon as they get to admin status. And it's quite odd.
I've seen it happen to not tiling groups, but online forums. When they get big, they tend to unravel. Yeah. Because the admins probably do spend a lot of time on it, and then the admins sometimes might think, I should be getting paid for this. And then they try and get paid, and it all gets out, and it's like everybody who's a member of it starts in fights, and then the admins change, and the new ones come in and say, we're going to do it better or whatever. But no, what is actually created is more than just a Facebook group, I think. It is actually a community, people helping each other, and it's actually turned into now something that I can't even explain what it could be, because it could be anything. Union is probably a bad
consortium,
a bad way to describe it.
Consortium of like-minded people, really, isn't it?
Well, you imagine, right? If you've got the Tilers community group there, and you're in, I don't know, up north somewhere, and you have an issue where you're being blamed for something that's gone wrong, you've basically got no support.
Oh, you've got
the way
nothing.
It works now,
yeah,
you can ask the manufacturers, but as we know, the manufacturers might come and look at it, and they might admit to fault, or they might not, or they might tell you exactly what's gone wrong, or they might not. But you could tap into, I'm guessing what it might turn into in the future. You could tap into the Tilers community, get in touch with Sam or whoever's the admin, whoever's running whatever it ends up being called, whatever we want to call it, and then they can say to someone who's in the group, who's in the community, who's up north, who knows what they're doing, with a lot of experience, they can go and give
a proper
report to say, and it might be the Tilers' fault. and it might not be the tiler's fault, and it might be half and half or whatever, but it won't be a case of you fighting your corner and a supplier or a manufacturer fighting their corner.
Yeah, you've got,
and
in the middle, some support and backup from...
When happens in the middle is the customer who's just pissed off and wants someone to fix the problem. But you could quickly tap into the community. I'm guessing it's what could happen in the future. And say, can someone come and look at and give me an independent report on this particular job, please? And then that's it. You've got an independent report, and you get it fixed. And if it comes to the point where somebody's lost some time because they've had to fix it because the customer still wants the fucking job doing, and if it gets to the point where somebody's owed some money, i.e. usually the fucking tiler, you've got a report where you can, to back you up, to say, I did get a professional report done before the remedial work was done, and this is what it said. And it might say it was your fault. So then you'll say, oh, fuck it, I'll fix it.
You know yourself, it's like all these drought issues that everybody's having at the moment. It's just crazy. And I reckon it's down to the supply to the manufacturer of different products, or they're trying out different products that they reckon they've tested, but not over time.
I don't know.
Because there was a cement shortage, there was this shortage. So obviously they're trying to keep the company running and trying different products within their
the only way we would ever know would be we'd have to get a manufacturer talking to me, recording it, of a particular, whoever it may be, because it's all anecdotal, but it's anecdotal, but there's a lot of it where like tilers are posted. So we'd have to get, all right, let's get one or two manufacturers on who tilers keep saying, I used this for years, never had a problem.
Yeah. And
now all of a sudden I'm having problems. We'd have to get them on and admit. Yeah. From 5 years ago, what was it
in their product then?
Why was it okay?
What is it now?
It might not be any of that. It might be something totally different. But what you tend to see is that they'll say the tiler's done something different, when actually the tiler's probably the one that hasn't done anything differently, because he's a creature of habit. He's been doing it that way for 20 years probably. So it's got to be something. But
you see, I've never had any issues with, because mainly if I haven't used an epoxy for like a wet room or bathroom, there's only two grouts I'd use, and that's Mapai and the Ultra. And I've never ever had an issue with Mapai, and yet some people have. But to me, some of it is the fact that they open, say, half a bag, and they don't tumble it first, which is the most important bit, because if it's sat on a shelf, you know yourself, there's different densities of products in it. So all the colorants or the sands, they'll drop in the bag. And a lot of people don't tumble the bag before they even open it.
It's
something so simple like that, but they don't think. Or the apprentice is mixing for them.
Yeah, and it's not a simple thing. It's not simple. Tiling isn't simple. And what you're actually, when you're mixing grout or whatever, to know about, that's why these training courses are good, because they'll give you some fundamental information to say, this is what's happening when you do that.
Yeah.
So when you might come across a scenario that you've never come across before, for what I know, it's been stored somewhere or whatever. If you've always just thought, oh, you just pour it in and mix it, which you don't do with any grout, they've all got their own mixing instructions, but you're not quite sure what's going wrong, then you'll automatically blame the product. But actually, if you'd have understood the fundamentals of the product
itself,
you could actually say, oh shit, yeah, I remember now, that was fucking been there 6 months or something.
Yeah.
Because you understand, because you've been on these courses that these people are offering, which comes back to the thing again. I don't understand why anybody's complaining about any manufacturer offering courses.
Yeah, I think that basically Sam's just trying to push them to a point where they actually go, yes, okay, we'll help help the group on a constant basis, and we will be there to answer questions, to do this.
It's not a secret, right? So a manufacturer or a retailer, including me, they're not doing it purely out of the goodness of the heart. They want the traders to use their stuff for a reason.
That's the ulterior motive, is to get more people on board using their product.
But on the flip side of it, if they're doing that, but also offering support and advice and deals, great.
Yeah.
Because everybody's happy then, aren't they?
Yeah.
But ultimately what they want is some new loyal customers, because traders are the best customer.
Yeah.
Simply because they buy shit every single day.
Yeah.
Everybody wants trade as a customer.
Well, it's like me. I'll go and use the CTD Ultra. It's still Ultra, but it worked out when they had a deal on it. It was cheaper to use them than it was to use Tile Giant. And then all I did was with Tile Giant was I said to them, well, I can go to CTD and get it for this. They go, we'll match that.
Of course they will, because that's what I mean.
Because they want your trade.
Yeah, well, they want you to come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And tomorrow and the next 10 years. So traders, they're like, they don't bring as much margin to the retailer or the manufacturer, but they spend a shitload more money than a retail customer you might see once ever in your life.
Yeah.
Or once every 6
it's
to
on
10
volume,
years.
isn't it? That's how they make the money. It's on the volume that they're turning out through the system.
A good trade, even for a tile shop, 1, 2, or 3 good tilers who come in regularly, keep your shop open.
Yeah. And
then the retailer is like the cherry on top for that's your where you can make some money.
Yeah.
But the trade's more important, and all these everybody knows that. That's what they're after.
Yeah.
But if they're offering things in return, then great, because you need the stuff. It's not like they're forcing you to buy anything. So if they're offering good support and knowledge,
and the product's decent,
yeah, and to be honest, the knowledge that they offer, you never know. It might end up one day that, because these companies employ tilers.
Yeah.
If a tiler's got an ambition to be like a technical worker for whoever, it's there. They can go and see.
Yeah.
They're offering these courses. Go and have a look, meet people, and you get contacts and you get to know people, and then before you know it, you can apply for a job there because you know everyone.
Yeah.
So
it
works out for
it's
it
all
works for
about
everyone.
networking, isn't it?
It works for everyone. And if you try to, so I think what he's doing is right, one at a time. Because if you try to do everyone all at once, it would you might as well say it's £100 for have your logo on.
Your logo on.
Because you're going to get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they do understand manufacturers do this all the time. It's just new to engage with a group like this. They do it all the time with retailers and.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a consortium of 4,000 tradespeople, all doing the same trade or parts of the same trade.
Yeah.
Whereas a retailer, you can't just find 4,000 new retailers, can you? To supply.
No, if you so Facebook charges for adverts. If you were to ask Facebook to target 4,000 tilers, just tilers, charge you a fucking fortune.
Yeah.
And it would work. So what to get it? That's why they're all interested in to get into the groups.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's not for the goodness of the heart.
No, that's why we
but
want
if they're offering
something
things,
in return.
Yeah, of course.
For the group, and that's what Sam's trying to achieve. So, good on him for doing what he's doing.
Right. So, and you did Ultra yesterday.
Did Ultra on the webinar. I've been to Ballardex last year, beginning of this year.
In Stoke?
Yes.
We're in Stoke now?
Yeah.
I just thought I'd mention that.
Just in a different place. Yeah, that was another great training day. It gives you knowledge about products, gives you knowledge about what's in them, how they're manufactured. You got taken right the way around their production system.
Yeah. If things like that are on offer, if someone's offering you free knowledge,
You're going to take it.
just take it.
Yeah.
Even if you never use their products.
Yeah.
Just
Doesn't
take
make
it.
It's knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life is all about knowledge. The more knowledge you gain, you don't have to go heavily into it unless you want to really become a fine specialist in something. But any knowledge is good knowledge.
Yeah.
Because you should be learning something new every day. And that's my aim, even at my age, is that I'm still learning.
I think it's tricky as well for a tradesman or tradeswoman to learn something new every day because they've probably been their own boss for God knows how many years.
Yeah.
Where are you going to get your learning from? And you do see more and more now, and it's always been there, but I see loads more now of companies offering training and what have you. I'd just take it. It's free.
Yeah. I mean, likes of this and likes of Bal, they put you up in a hotel for the night before because they know you'll have been working during the day. Whereas today I'm not. I'm here talking to you. And then I'll pop down to Leicester. But then I'll stay in a hotel. An evening meal's paid for. Breakfast.
Meet some other people you may
meet
not have met before. Yeah.
Off the community and off from different companies. And then you've got a full hands-on day of training. Because they say on this one is bring your workwear. Because it will be hands-on.
Yeah. It's
So
really good.
You're actually working with their product. You're not just sitting in a classroom going, look at this PowerPoint.
Yeah, let me give you a demo.
Yeah. You actually get hands-on. So, yes,
Brilliant.
I'm looking forward to that.
Brilliant.
But it's just another feather in my cap to offer a client.
It's also something, it's available. It's not just a one-off, is it? So they do it quite regularly.
Yeah.
So I would say if people want to do it, they can either contact Schluter or contact Pro Tiler and say, when's the next one?
Next one?
It's there for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I think that actual course was £49.
Yeah.
But you got the £49 back when you arrived.
I remember when they didn't charge us all.
I think that's more to stop them
they got
being
a lot of dropouts.
Down. Yeah.
There've been a lot of dropouts, and so
because I did notice that there'd been another dropout the last day or so. So, but for different reasons, it could be somebody's missus isn't well, or you just don't know.
I think dropping out in advance is fine, but not turning up on the day.
Just don't turn up.
Yeah, that was happening.
That's just. I think that's partially why they put the 50 quid in.
Yeah.
Because they're still going to hire a hotel
room. You'd let them know in advance, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Gives them a chance to find someone like you or whatever.
Yeah. But they've still got to book the hotel room. So they've still got a cost incurrence.
Yeah.
So they'd sooner have it covered or partially covered.
I'm sure they give you a goodie bag as well. That's a good incentive.
I don't know.
I'm sure
I know Bal did. Bal gave us a few bags of adhesive,
some freebies,
a couple of waterproof kits, buckets. Great. And it makes you want to try and use their product. And if you get on with the product, brilliant. If you don't, you don't. But the specific products in some lines that you would use purely, say, for stone mosaic or like self-levelers. Same.
Yeah.
For a certain job, I've had to use Ardex NA. And then I work alongside another guy that's a floor layer, who's local to me, and he's just come off the big hospital in Liverpool. So he was looking for work. So he's been in with me a couple of times. I've given him a couple of vinyl floors to do, LVT. So he specified to me, well, I want this self-leveler, bag and bottle. And it works because he's used to using that.
Yeah.
And that's for him to complete a bathroom on my behalf or a kitchen floor. So you still, where possible, you still pass it out to people you know.
Yeah.
And they use the similar sorts of products as we would tile and floor. But like I said, with Bal, they do have a different product for this, a different product for that. Just like Ultra, they've got different products for different things.
Yeah. Both of those two, I've been to Bal and Ultra. The setups there are like mega. Or if you wanted someone you could trust, I know it's arguable that you can trust anybody, but if something goes wrong, I'm talking about, because I know Tyler's have a lot of issues with that. But I'll try and get him on to talk to him, to say, listen, when something does go wrong, how is it really handled? And I can't speak for them. They might come up with a perfectly good explanation. I'm sure they do proper reviews, and it's just unfortunate that sometimes it genuinely is user error.
Yeah. I mean, I went to see an external job that a landscaper had done, and all the tiles were falling off. It was the, like the quartz-faced blocks of tile.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the blockwork.
Split face.
Yeah. Nothing on the blockwork behind. They just stuck it on like dot and dab, and it was all falling off. And I said to them, I can't just fix a patch, because there were several patches all over the place. I said, that whole lot needs to come off and be done correctly with a DPM, because obviously the ground height behind the blockwork was all built up. So there's always going to be a damp issue in the back of the block. And then obviously that'll transfer through to the adhesive. So you're not going to get your bond. So, and then the next thing is, I think it was, is it Ash Humphreys? Is he Ardex?
STS, isn't he?
Is it Ash? No, it was one of the guys from Ardex.
I don't know any Ardex
Bal.
people.
Can't remember now. But he contacted me and said, listen, if you're going to do that, we want to do an on-site day with you. And obviously we'll sort out some products for you to try out. And do you mind if we do some filming? So I said, yeah, if the job goes ahead, by all means. So they're willing.
Did you do it?
No, I didn't get the job.
I'd like to see it, the film
video. No, because they only wanted it patching in the end, because he said it's just going to cost us too much. But unfortunately,
didn't they get the person that did it in?
No,
it just disappeared.
Yeah,
love that,
don't you? But that's part of life. Once they've been paid, didn't want to know. But they did.
Could have at least patched it for them.
No, well, but it's only going to fall off again, isn't it? Or other parts of it will fall off that they haven't, that hadn't fallen off this time.
Jesus.
But that's yet again is landscapers trying to do tilers, whereas as
kind of crossed over, didn't it? It was never really a crossover, but it's crossed over now, big time.
Totally crossed over.
There's a lot of porcelain and tiling type skills involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the outside is coming inside.
Yeah.
And the inside's going outside.
Yeah.
Because of the way people want the house to look.
There's still always debates.
The seamless look across a property.
There's always debates online still now. It's been going on for years now. How the fuck do you lay a porcelain slab outside?
Yeah.
And so people say, well, you're a tiler. You know how to tile. So you know what to do.
Yeah.
But then the argument is, well, no. You can just do wet bed.
Yeah.
Like any other slab. I don't know what they're probably both correct.
They are.
Yeah.
You can do
it's
either.
just like preference in it.
Yeah. And also it depends on your substrate that you're putting it onto.
Yeah. So if you wanted to tile it, you needed concrete.
No.
A proper tiling, you'd have to put a concrete base down first. Really?
No. No, because your slab, because your porcelain are 20 mil, you can put them straight down onto MOT, crush and run, that's been obviously whacked. Level layers of whacker, and you don't just put 100 mil down and put a whacker plate across it. You put like 50 mil down, and then another whacker it, and then another 50 mil down.
And you can just tile onto that, like a get your trowel out and
just do a dry sand and cement mix. Just make sure that you back butter the tile, which you can buy a product for slurrying, for slurry mix.
I used SPR cement. Is Is that good enough?
It can be, can't be.
I hope
but,
so, because it's on the tiles
if they're stuck down and they're still there,
Yeah.
it obviously worked, didn't it? But you don't want too much moisture under there, so you don't want a wet bed like you do a tile adhesive. When you're doing sharp sand and cement, you want it to be quite a dry bed. And then the slurry mix on the back of the tile is there because the tile's not porous. So you're using a dry bed, it's not going to grip to that sand and cement if that's fairly dry. So you're not going to get that bond.
Yeah.
So that's what the slurry's there for.
Yeah.
Or you can have it all concreted. But you see, to me, that before you concrete, you'd have to MOT it all anyway. And then lay your concrete. So it's just an extra cost incurred, isn't it?
Yeah. I never even considered it when we did it out here. Because of the cost.
Yeah.
I was like, well, the other way works. So just do it the other way.
Well, landscapers, they don't concrete before they put flags down, do they?
Yeah.
They just crush and run it. Sand cement bed. Put a 3x2 flag down or whatever size they're doing. And that's it. Because a 20mm porcelain, you can jump up and down on that even with a piece of timber either side of it, and you're not going to break it in half.
Yeah. Solid.
Yeah.
So out there we've got pedestals. So we've got pedestals by the door.
Yeah.
And then it's been laid with a wet bed on the other bit at the back. To be honest, at some point I'll get rid of them pedestals and replace it with and just stick them properly.
Yeah.
It's not as good. It's just,
it
was just easy for me to do at the time.
Yeah, but also pedestals are great for
other scenarios.
Flat roofs, things like that, where you can take the weight, but you can't actually get a solid bed down, or for water flow.
Yeah, or for rats. Yeah, all good. I think we're done, mate. We've done an hour and a half.
Have we?
Yeah.
Busy chatting shit about nothing.
It's easy to do, isn't it? So, people will know this. This is one of the first. It may not be the first that's ever released, but it'll be one of the first ever. So what we'll do is we'll get better at it.
Yeah.
And we'll get you back in, and we might have more than one.
Yeah.
At a time. So do you want to advertise yourself, or are you just happy with your word of mouth?
I'm just happy with my word of mouth.
Yeah. But
if you want to go on Tyler's Community, have a look at my work, by all means.
So what Alan will do, so you'll find him in Tyler's Community mostly.
I can always put stuff up on my own page, which is under my name.
What I'm going to say to people, if they want to ask you anything, I know you'll say yeah. And he'll reply to your messages. He's a helpful guy. But yeah.
I mean, the other
thing basically in Tyler's Community.
I mean, the other thing we haven't touched on at all is how we got to meet, which is
how was it?
Through Tyler's Community, wasn't it?
Was it?
And then the Perflex.
Yeah. So, I'm involved with Perflex Grout. Is that was it through Tyler's Community?
Yeah.
I'm sure and then Alan's been a massive, massive help with that. Basically using it when nobody knew what it was, really.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later on. I don't want to promote
it's only because I use epoxy grouts for most of my bathrooms.
We'll do an episode on grout.
I look for stuff like that. So, but yeah, all good.
Very good. Thank you very much. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Cool. All the best. See you later.